once again, Richmond Raceway proves that it is a veteran's track. Joe Gibbs Racing recovers from a terrible season so far. 2311 Racing struggles, and IndyCar is headed to Long Beach this weekend. But most importantly, Dalton Kellett, driver of the number 4 for AJ Foyt Enterprises, is going to stop by. Can't wait to talk to him and see what he has to say today on the Indy Boys Racing Podcast. If this is your first episode, you couldn't have picked a better episode to stop by. My name is Tristan Grider, joined with, as always, my amazing co-hosts Daniel Chaney and Justin Cox. How are we doing today, boys?
I'm doing amazing. Denny won this weekend. We got new graphics. Everything's great right now, and we got Dalton Kellett on the episode, so that's amazing. How about you, Daniel?
Dude, I'm ready for some certified Dalton Kellett moments today. That's all I'm saying. I'm
Nice.
really excited. I think it'll be a great episode.
Oh, yeah.
It's good.
How
It's
you
gonna be a
feeling,
dope
Tristan?
episode. You know what? I'm feeling pretty good. Went to IMS this past weekend with Daniel. We were gonna try to see some cars go, but it didn't end up happening due to some weather. But got some cool stickers for the back of my car. Picked up a new batch of them, put them on the back. Got myself. Daniel talked me out of it, but I was heavily considering buying myself the new LAO 2021
Jersey.
8500 win car.
Oh, the
No,
car.
his car.
Oh, the car.
Because I was gonna get one to match my hinge one. But he talked me out of it.
That would have been a
My
good
bank
buy, though.
account does not permit it. It would have been a very great buy. I'm gonna get it the next time I'm at the track.
Bet.
But anyway, let's go ahead and get into some motorsport media. Okay, so on the NASCAR side of things, let's go ahead. Let's go back to 2 weekends ago at COTA. COTA received a 2.2 rating and 3.7 million viewers. That's up 56% compared to its last appearance on the NASCAR circuit last season. And these are also numbers compared to the Fox main channel compared to FS1, which I think every NASCAR fan would agree that FS1 should have NASCAR Race Hub and pre-race, and Fox should have
the race. Yeah.
I think it should be the exact same thing for NBC with USA and NBC. I understand why they're not doing it that way, but I do like that NASCAR has Race Hub and then has the race on the channel. That is something I like, and I think it's good for people that don't have cable.
For sure.
Good job, NASCAR. That's the only thing I've been liking that Fox has been doing this season. Anyway, Jessica Friesen is going to return to racing in the Truck Series. She's going to do the dirt races for Halmar Friesen Racing. She's going to be in the 62, which is the car that Todd Bodine is going to be running in part-time. She's going to do the dirt races at Bristol and Knoxville. Super cool. Another dirt announcement, Buddy Kofold, who is a TRD dirt standout, is going to be making his first Truck Series start in the 51 for KBM. So good luck to Buddy there.
Nice.
And the biggest news story of the week, Junior Motorsports is still not closing the door on moving to the Cup Series in 2023. Kelly Earnhardt, co-owner of Junior Motorsports, was quoted saying, "The window is not yet closed, but the timing would need to be right." Junior Motorsports obviously has been the one Xfinity team besides Kaulig Racing that has teased a Cup circuit, whether it's part-time, full-time. They've teased it for probably since 2019. And really quickly, if you could see any Junior Motorsports driver in the Cup Series, who do you think that driver would be?
Ooh, I got this one.
Daniel.
Noah Gragson.
That's what I was going to say.
Noah Gragson. Okay. As much as I would think it's going to be Gragson, I personally think Gregson's going to be going full-time with Kaulig next season. So I think that if it's like the 88 car, which I would guess what it would be in the Cup Series, I think it'd be Sam Mayer. Just because Sam Mayer, he's a development driver. I'm sure that most people would like to see him have at least one more year in the Xfinity Series. But I think it would be Sam Mayer, or if they would do kind of like a rotation between him and Josh Berry, I could see that happening as well. But that's all I have on the NASCAR side of things. Jay, let's go ahead and go to you with F1.
Alrighty, so we got some F1 news. We got some, if you're a major F1 fan or you're a Drive to Survive fan, whatever you are, an F1 fan, You're shocked by this news because the Las Vegas GP will officially happen. It's been teased for the past couple of weeks, and it's going to happen on November 23rd, and that is America's Thanksgiving holiday weekend. The Las Vegas Strip. I about to say New York Strip. The Las Vegas Strip. The Las Vegas Strip. This is not a steak. The Las Vegas Strip is going to host an F1 race.
He said not a steak.
Yeah. All right. Then we have the Saudi Arabian GP has been extended until 2026. So that's cool. And then there was one more piece of news that I saw not this week, but last week, that the Qatar, whatever the racetrack name is, I don't know the exact name of the Qatar racetrack. But they raced there last season. It's where George Russell and Valtteri Bottas got their punctures towards the end of the season or whatever, tire punctures because of the curbs. That is supposed to be replacing the Russian GP. So, interesting. But, yeah. Daniel, what do you got for IndyCar?
So on the IndyCar side, I don't have that much news. The only other news that I kind of have has to do with the testing for the new engines that are the 2023 engines, I believe. 24?
Yeah.
Okay. But essentially, the testing, they did 1 day of testing at IMS with just 2 cars and 2 drivers. And then they were going to have extended private tests with a lot of the different teams. But ultimately, due to the poor weather conditions, because for some reason in late March and early April in Indiana, it decided to snow a little bit.
April Fools, baby.
Oh,
yeah. So don't know what that's all about, Mother Nature. But they will still keep testing this week. They will be testing at Barber Motorsports Park. So they at least are getting some trial and testing in this new engine. I know they don't have all the parts for the engine. I believe the parts that are making it a why am I blanking on the term? When it's like combined like energy
Hybrid?
Hybrid. I suck at English, apparently. Words don't happen.
Words don't happen.
All the parts for the hybrid engine aren't fully ready because of the whole supply chain issue that's been going on. So right now it's essentially similar to the current engines. I know a lot of people were complaining about the sound of the engines being pretty reminiscent of what they already sounded like. So obviously, as more time goes on, I'm sure they'll get those things figured out and it'll be more of a better look at what the engine will be like in 2024.
Yeah, well, there you go. There's the news from Motorsport Media. Before we go in and talk all about Richmond, talk all about young Dennis getting his first win of the season, and talk about the prodigy himself, good old Tyler Gibbs, we are going to have our special interview of the week. Let's go over and see what's going on with our special guest. And welcome back to the Indy Boys Racing Podcast. We have a very special guest joining us today, driver of the number 4 K-Line Insulator Chevrolet for AJ Foyt Enterprises, joining us from right down the road in Indianapolis, Dalton Kellett. Welcome to the show. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing well. Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. Just getting ready for Long Beach, packing all my stuff up, and a bit of training and whatnot. So yeah,
nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. Awesome. First thing, congratulations on a good start to this. As the first true, I guess the only true veteran full time this season at AJ Foyt.
Air quotes on that.
Yeah, air quotes.
Yeah.
I was really excited to see you running well at the beginning of the year, especially at St. Pete. It was good to see you qualifying so well. But yeah, so I guess just really quick, how do you feel like so far throughout the beginning of the season? Like, how is it changed from in the past? Like, just through the first 2 races of this year, do you feel like running at St. Pete last year, do you feel like you ran overall, do you feel like just overall it was better? Like, you felt more comfortable?
I think it's definitely a combination of things. Like, I think from my end, there's stuff that I was learning all through last year, and I think that, kind of applying those lessons as far as what, is important to focus on from a driving standpoint and technique and all that. Really learning what the IndyCar needs, and then we're just kind of iteratively making team improvements too. Like there's been a lot more consistency from the engineering side as far as bringing more people on, but keeping some of the same key staff. So I think just from a me perspective, it's been a step up, and I think the team just kind of keeps making incremental improvements. So all in all, pretty positive. Yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Now I bet there is like overall. I mean, you're in a very iconic car. I feel like you're in a very iconic role at. I mean, you're driving for AJ Foyt, and I bet there's a lot of people bet there's like a lot of pressure driving for the man himself. But I know that there is pressure there. But like, what I want to ask you is, the first time that you got a call from AJ Foyt, just like, what did that feel like? Like that he just wanted you to drive for him. Like what did you feel? Like overjoyed, I bet. But like, were you like nervous? Were you like?
Well, so yeah. So backtracking, I guess I haven't had a computer thrown at me yet. So we're on good footing with AJ so far. My initial conversations were more with Larry, to be honest. So I had kind of been speaking with Larry throughout kind of my last year in lights, and there was obviously some change on the horizon with the ABC thing and all that, so there were some opportunities to do that sort of weird partial deal that we did with me and TK and Seb sharing the 14 car that year. So most of that was mostly done with conversing with AJ or with Larry, sorry. The first time I met AJ in person, because I don't think I got a phone call from him until I was actually with the team, but the first time I actually met him was at a test at Coda, and he showed up to see me and Seb run there, and it was great. AJ's obviously his legacy kind of precedes him, right, and he's a huge figure in racing, and he's been around for so long. But all my interactions with him have been really good, and he's really just wants to be at the track and enjoys seeing the cars go around and wants his cars to be fast. So. That's kind of the deal, and he's it's just really cool. Like he, especially when we get to Indy, he really opens up about like stories from the old days, and it's like you could be getting ready to go, and it's like he'll start talking about something. You're like, I should probably sit and listen to this. This is a really neat opportunity.
Yeah,
I bet it's a really cool, very cool work experience. I mean, like overall, I mean, like I can't imagine, like, and it's really cool. It just seems like it's really cool overall.
The whole thing is really neat. I mean, like I said, his brand and kind of legacy is so huge, and it's definitely an honor to compete under that name and under that banner. And there's certainly some pressure there for for sure. And we all all three of us, and then four, I guess, with JR, we all really want to make the team better and have some more consistent results. So we're all working really hard for that.
Yeah, awesome. And really quick, speaking about your teammates, I mean, even though this is really only your third season in IndyCar, second season full time, you are now technically, besides Hildebrand, you are now the IndyCar driver full time with the most experience on the team. Do the rookie drivers Calderon and Kirkwood, do they like come to you for advice, or are you just like pushing them over to Sebastian?
I mean, so Seb was hanging out with us at St. Pete's, and he was really helping out with Kyle that weekend. I'm working with Ryan Briscoe at some of the races this year. He's kind of helping out, spotting, just sort of being there to look at some data and whatnot. So the first race Seb was there, so he was really working with Kyle a lot. I mean, Kyle's super fast and super talented, so. It's more communal than it was like with Seb and I. Like I was learning a lot from Seb last year. I think like something I'm not like much one to toot my own horn too much, but something I am pretty good at is like giving feedback and like setting up cars and all that. So I feel like Seb and I worked really well together from a setup development standpoint, but from a driving and like racing standpoint, I was learning so much from him. Whereas this year it feels a bit more like even footing kind of thing. There's definitely stuff that I've talked with Kyle and Tatiana about that like they haven't done yet, right? Like going to Indy and ovals in the IndyCar and like managing the race and all that. But it's definitely a different vibe than it was last year for sure.
Nice. And I'll pass this over to Daniel because I know he had some more of the more fun questions there.
All right.
Yeah, so I've noticed something that you've done a lot of, especially recently, is with social media, you've been doing a lot of like motorsports education, especially through TikTok.
Yeah.
So like what exactly inspired you to like start doing this? Was it just like to engage with fans or create new potential audiences and fans? Or just like what exactly like started this?
Yeah, well, I've got my trusty little model here that's made a lot of appearances.
Very nice, very nice.
Dynamics TikToks. I have been, there's a group in Toronto that I work with that sort of helped, like more from not like, as I manage all my own accounts and like do my own posting and do all that kind of stuff on the website. I ship like orders and stuff. Like all of that is like me, right? But they kind of did some consulting as far as like, just fleshing out the brand, and like we talked, we did like a brand book for sponsor pitches and all that. And one of the, we kind of, they sort of dove into the social media space. It was a couple of years ago in racing, and looked at like different opportunities and all that. And they were like really pushing TikTok when it was like brand new. And I was like, it's just people doing dances and like dumb things. Like, it's not me, right? Like I'm too old. It doesn't make sense. But I downloaded it and got on it, and started swiping through the feed thing, and like saw, I guess, content creators, whatever you want to call them, influencers, whatever, like Hank Green and a few others that like do science stuff. And there was a chemistry one that I follow, I can't remember, Niles something or whatever, on, and like because I'm older, right? So like I follow people on YouTube and follow like some, like Scott Manley on YouTube, who does like space, like aerospace videos and Kerbal Space Program stuff and all that. So like that was more my thing. But I saw what these people were doing with TikTok and saw that they were actually getting good followings with doing like even 3-minute like technical videos. And the good thing about that platform is you can, with the way the algorithm works, you can like find your niche if it resonates with a certain audience. So I said, I was like, all right, we'll do this as like a pilot test program this year, see how it goes. And I think in the past I've like, because I think I'll talk about having the engineering degree and that background, but like I haven't really outwardly done very much with it, aside from like school visits and like interacting with the STEM crowd, but I haven't like put it out there really. Just like, let's try something. And I basically was like, let's take all the things that I kind of take for granted in racing that like to me are natural and seem totally normal, and just explain all that stuff and see how it's received. And hopefully that kind of peels back some layers for casual to more serious fans who just want to know more about how the cars work. And I think that's resonated, and I'm really surprised and actually really happy with how well it's been going. So
Yeah,
awesome.
I think it's been a really cool thing. I see it a lot on Twitter, and a lot of things I see like on Twitter is you're pretty outspoken about the differences between like say F1 and IndyCar, between like driver safety and just how like the cars are designed for safety precautions. And so I wanted to know, like, because as you said, you have a degree in engineering physics, which for listeners that don't know, Dalton Kellett is pretty much one of the smartest guys in the IndyCar paddock. Not to toot your own horn, but you do have a reputation that precedes you. So I just wanted to know, like, do you think that IndyCar as it is currently like constantly trying to improve their safety, or do you have any like ideas or changes that you think should be tweaked in the near or far future?
Well, I think if you told my fiance that I'm one of the smartest ones, she'd probably take you to task on that. So I think in the like I'm pro safety. Like I think that's kind of a key. Like the thing I feel with safety improvements in motorsports is you can't roll it back, right? You can't like introduce the aero screen and then take it away, because then if someone gets hurt, it's like, well, you should have had that thing that you had 5 years ago, right? So like it's a constantly building process. And I can't I think the next development realistically for IndyCar is the DW12 chassis is obviously almost 10 years old now in competition, 10 seasons or so. So there's certainly been, advancements in the design of tubs, and it's an extremely safe chassis as it is, right? Like it's fine as it is. But I think the next thing, as we're introducing the new power plant and whenever the new car is designed, we've added so many good things like the aero screen and the side impact structures and the beefier like intrusion panels, that like the car is pretty heavy. And you kind of get to a point where you're fighting against just the physics of like how much kinetic energy that object has, and it goes with the square of speed, but it's proportional to the mass as well. And you just have to, at some point consider, well, how heavy is this thing and how fast are we going? And that's maybe more of the factor than like adding something like the aero screen. So I think it's more refinements. Like if you designed an aero screen that's as safe or as strong, but 10 pounds lighter, that in itself would be a big gain.
Yeah.
And then from a selfish standpoint, I'd be great if they could help the cockpit temperatures go back.
And then like also just kind of like dealing with that area. So we talked earlier in our episode kind of about how they're testing the new engines that are going to come out in a few years. Is this something that you're excited for, or what exactly, like for a driver's perspective, like what do you guys like think about the constantly changing things, such as new engines, such as the one that they're currently testing?
I think it's it's definitely a really exciting development. I think for us, we're like the horsepower numbers aren't, the big sell for us. It's more just that it's something new and it's something for all the teams to like adapt to. Like I think part of the great thing with IndyCar is, how close the racing is, but that's also a result of the teams having raced this car for so long. So it'll be maybe a bit of a reset on the competition side, I think. And that's exciting for us because it's kind of a cool challenge, right? It's like how, who's going to figure it out first, and which teams are going to be able to figure out, the setups for the new car whenever that happens. And that from a driving standpoint, is really exciting.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting just because like for the fan aspect of that, like we don't really know kind of all like the inner workings of just like if like all these changes and lack thereof like are either popular or unpopular decisions of the drivers. So I think it's really interesting to like hear your take on that.
I think we're I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, you're good, go ahead.
Like I think where where things again, these are hypotheticals that we're talking about, but like how the hybrid system is going to be integrated, and how and if it's push to pass going to change. Like that's the stuff that we would be not outwardly like complaining about, but like those are the discussions we would be having with the series, as far as like, because I think we all think push to pass works pretty well and it's a good competitive element. Like I think that's the stuff that we're concerned about, like what changes are on the horizon that are going to actually affect the racing and the strategy during the race, and is it hopefully making the product better. That's the end goal.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm done with my questions, but I know Jay has got some interesting questions, so I'll pass along to Jay for his little bit.
Okay, so let's take a little bit of a break from the racing questions. I know that you like to play guitar, so like, what are some songs you could play, or how advanced are you in it, and like, what guitar do you play? Like bass, acoustic, electric?
I've gotten I have a Martin acoustic. I've got an Ibanez electric that I've had for a long time.
Very nice.
And the
I play guitar, and as a guitar person, I'm loving everything.
But
continue.
the Ibanez that I have, it was I got it when I was like 14 or something, and it's got the Floyd Rose, the like double, like the floating bridge, right? So you can pull it and push with the trem bar, which like at the when I was that age, I was like more into that kind of music, I guess. Not that I was ever really like much of a metalhead or like a Steve Vai kind of guy, but like it's such a pain. Like you can't just change the tuning. Like you have to go on the back and like change the tension spring and all that. And it's just a pain in the butt. So like I really wish I had got a different guitar, but or at least more than
I feel that because I'm rocking right now. I have my Eddie Van Halen.
Oh, nice.
To look like that, and we all can't be Steve Vai. We all can't be like just like wow wow wow. Like we can't audiences listening like crazy, and like it's just like incredible stuff.
And then the bass, my sister played bass when she was growing up, and then she stopped playing when she got older. So that was just kind of collecting dust at my parents' place. And it's a Gibson Thunderbird bass. Nice. It's super nice. It's like got the when the big case, you open it up, it's all like pink velvet. And
wow.
Like,
okay.
It's like really
fancy.
But like I really haven't been playing that much in probably the last like 5 months. I really go in like spurts and spats where I'll get like, not really good. I'll get like pretty decent and then like stop playing for a while. And I'm definitely on the stop playing for a while side of it right now.
Yeah.
I feel that to an unreal level. I feel that.
Yeah. Because it's like, once you stop practicing, it's like it just takes time to get back into it, But like bands that I like, I like on the acoustic, I can at some point I could have played most of the Neil Young catalog with like I have the like harmonica stand. I was pretty decent at playing the guitar with the harmonica at some point.
Interesting.
And on the electric, like, what's the most recent song? If you've heard of their Canadian band, Andy Backman's in it. The Guess Who was playing some of their songs.
Nice.
More like classic rock, like blues based rock
Okay,
kind of thing.
okay.
Love
Nice.
love the Rolling Stones and all that. So
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Okay.
and then
sorry. go ahead.
yeah, sorry. And then I the most recent thing I on the acoustic, I do kind of like some of the bluegrass and like outlaw country stuff. So like Towns Van Sant and all that. I like some of those songs. So yeah,
Cool.
that's kind of where I'm at.
All right. So into the next part, I have a few more questions after we do this little segment we do, but we've been doing this little game that it's kind of like an on the spot game. So we're gonna each ask you like 3 questions. It's called this or that. You have like a few seconds, just off the top of your head, just say which answer, and that's all you got to choose. I'll go first, then we'll go Tristan, then Daniel. So this or that, kayaking or skiing? Skiing. TikTok or YouTube?
TikTok, I guess, right now.
All right, so this is 3: oval, road, or street courses.
Ooh, street courses.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. All right, Tristan, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I only got 2. Knowing that you're from Toronto, I just have to know this. Raptors or Pacers?
Oh, Raptors.
I had a feeling. And then knowing that you're a fan of both these Autosport series outside of IndyCar, NASCAR, F1.
F1, yeah.
Yeah.
Fun.
Nice.
Okay.
Team open wheel.
Yeah.
All right.
Daniel, let's go.
Okay, so I got 3. I think they're decent. I think they're decent ones. So first one, group stage qualifying or single oval qualifying?
Single oval qualifying is just super exciting and nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
And then this is kind of like a would you rather, rather than a like this or that. But would you rather win the Indy 500 or win an IndyCar championship?
Win the 500 hands down.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
There you go.
And then
heard it
final
here.
final one. Final one. Pole position or podium finish?
Podium. Results count.
All right.
Okay. All right.
There you go.
So many people don't know, but you were racing snowmobiles when you were like 3 years old before you went into go-karts. Yeah. So how much of that do you remember? And I'm genuinely curious on how exactly does snowmobile racing work compared to like other forms of racing? Is it the same or like?
I mean, the stuff that we did was like, it wasn't like even in a series, right? It was like my parents' friends and like my family and like all the kids and the cousins. Like we all had these little like 70, 80 cc like Arctic Cat.
Yeah.
They were called Arctic Cat Kit Kats or something like that, kitty cat or something. They were like literally this big, little 2-stroke motor, little teeny tracks, and we would my parents would. There was 2 tracks that we had. One was on the when our lake would freeze up at the cottage. Excuse me. They'd set up like milk crates in like a little oval kidney kind of shape, and we'd just like boot around and race, right? But from the videos I've seen, it was pretty chaotic. And
That's funny.
There's a hilarious video. It's I don't know if you guys follow into the Canadian NASCAR stuff too much, but
No, I do.
So these guys are actually how I got into racing. So the Clute brothers, Gary and Ryan Clute, are some of my best friends, long time friends, and we actually all go skiing together out west pretty frequently and all that. And they our dads are good buddies. So they were doing this. They were in on this little like Busch League snowmobile racing thing, and my parents had set up a course where we were going around kind of the little like the driveway at our cottage, and then through some trees, and then back out onto the driveway. And Gary's brother Ryan like hit kind of like a double whoop sort of thing, and he like he's 3. He wasn't trying to like time it, but he didn't time it right. Yeah. And he's like he just smacks the handlebars, and he's got an open face helmet, right? And it just like everyone stops, and the camcorder like shakes, and it's like silence, and you just hear.
Wow.
It's run over, and it's just and there's just snowmobiles everywhere. So it was like just kids having fun, but it was I kind of remember a little bit of it, you know.
Yeah, that's amazing though, because like when I was growing up, me and my friends, like we used to take our bikes, and like he had a like a gravel driveway. We used to just race him around the driveway. Like we would be pushing each other off the bikes and all that. Like it was so fun. So it kind of compares in a way. Yeah. So I thought
for sure.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to hear that, because I felt like I kind of knew where it was going with that, but
yeah,
I
it
didn't know
was
for sure.
just a fun time. Like as we got older and the machines got bigger, we would like make jumps and stuff, and you know, there was like some kind of fields out in the back, out in the woods. We'd build some jumps and mess around, but like we were just having fun, you know.
Okay. Yeah, that's fun.
Canadian pastime.
So I asked a similar question because we had David Malukas on the show, and this, like, just your guys' preparation, like mentally, physically, workout routine, whatever, like it just interests me, and I want to know, like, how has your preparation for races or seasons changed since 2020, technically, like rookie season 2020, to compared to now?
I think I mean, it's an interesting like progression, I think, for me, because 2020 was such a weird year.
Yeah.
You know, for so many reasons, right? But like my like we just sat around for a long time, and then it was like, hey, we're racing this weekend. So it was a bit like, you know, it didn't feel like a normal season, whereas last year was like the full season. And excuse me, I'm just getting over like a bit of a chest cough.
Oh, you're fine. Man. No, you're fine.
And then you know, I think I've gotten a lot better at like being organized and being like showing up to the track, having all the stuff that I wanted to do done. Like I think just, you know, having the first year of sort of knowing like all the stuff that I like wanted to do from a prep standpoint, as far as like the notes that I wanted to make and like the video that I wanted to go over, and knowing what was important and what wasn't.
Yeah,
I think I've got a better handle on that now.
Okay.
So I'm feeling like more kind of at ease and more like ready when I get to the track. It's like there's no scrambles of like, oh, what's you know, this like setup thing we want to try, or like, you know, I've got all that stuff like kind of cold when I get to the track, and I think that's made it feel a lot calmer for me, which I've liked for sure. And you know, I'm sure some of that is just like the first time you do it is like, you know, you're a little more frazzled than the next year you come back, right?
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
really
sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
And,
now, go ahead, Tris.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead,
now, final thing I want to ask, since Long Beach is right around the corner, how abrasive is the track, and how does it compare to like some other street courses like St. Petersburg or Belle Isle? And I don't know if you've raced Toronto at all, but I was
not in the IndyCar. I raced it in the lower series, but in the big car. Yeah. By abrasive, do you mean like how hard is it on the tires, or do you mean like bumpy as far
anyway,
as
physically on the tires, on the car, whatever, like however way you interpret that?
So Long Beach is probably the easiest street circuit physically, because it's got a long straightaway. It's got two decent straightaways, right?
Yeah, that's true.
You gotta go through that tunnel before the right, left, right to the hairpin, and then you got the big
long curve
boulevard, like you know, and that's pretty chill. But it's intense in like short spurts, right? It's relatively bumpy, but it's not the bumpiest. I think Toronto's probably the bumpiest. It's got a few transitions from like pavement to asphalt, which are always interesting. Like turn 4-5, the two right 90s are pretty challenging. The turn 5, the faster one, is like, you know, kind of off camber going in, and then it's like really bumpy as you kind of track out there. So that's like a bit hair raising. And the tire deg is pretty decent, but the street course tire is actually a bit like, there's more rubber on it than the road course tire.
It's a lot. So it's a lot stronger, and it can withhold more. Yeah, I got you.
So it's like you know, the track's more abrasive, but the tire's a bit stronger. So it's, you know, it kind of equals out. I think it's a really fun track. I really enjoyed it. You know, I thought the racing was good last year. We were having it was going good for us until I ran out of push to pass, and then a yellow happened. It's like a rookie mistake on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a fun track. I think the grip, as far as the actual pavement, is probably a little grippier than St. Pete, but not terribly so. I think Detroit's probably the highest friction of all the street circuits, because it's also really smooth for a street circuit.
Okay.
Yeah, my first IndyCar race, even though I've lived, my first IndyCar race was Long Beach, and
cool.
I got to watch it from. There's like a Bubba Gump that is like
Okay.
inside of the racetrack, and I watched it from inside of the restaurant because it was free
Yeah.
tickets. Like we just ate food and just like watched the race, and I remember Mike Conn won.
Yep.
And it was just really cool, and that's why it's my personal favorite street course, and really excited for this weekend because I think it's going to be a very exciting race.
Yeah.
So Dalton, you are no stranger to posting your workouts and just like fun moments on your life and social media, as we mentioned. But something I feel like we never really see a lot of is your love of rock climbing. Like, how did you just like get into rock climbing? And when you're free climbing, is there like a sense of inner peace that like helps you focus in the race car? I've always wanted to ask.
Yeah, so that's I think you guys are probably the first ones that have asked me about that in a long time. Like, so the rock climbing thing, I actually got into it through Zach Veach. So he was living in Indy.
Wow. Okay.
When we were both racing lights, he was with Bilardi and I was with Andretti at the time, and he had gotten really into climbing kind of a couple years before I had sort of moved to Indy. I moved there. We were both working at a pit fit, became friends really quick, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go climbing down in Kentucky with some friends from the climbing gym. Do you want to come?"
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, "Yeah, sure. Got nothing going on this weekend." And like I'd always been like pretty outdoorsy and camping and all that, so was all down for that kind of thing. We went to this area called the Red River Gorge near Lexington, Kentucky. There's a famous pizza place called Miguel's Pizza. It's like the climber hangout down there.
Okay.
And that's all, and that's what's called sport climbing. So that's where you like, so I'd be, if I'm climbing and Zach's playing, like I'm tied into a rope and he's got the blade device, like a gree or something. And he feeds the rope as you climb up, and then as you go, you clip into like the carabiner, you hang your quick draw carabiner thing and clip in.
Yeah.
And it's like pre-bolted though, so that's sport climbing, and there's anchors up top.
Yeah.
So we did that for a long time, or for a couple of years, and then got together with a mutual friend who owns a climbing guide business out in Washington, and went out there and we did like a week-long thing of like learning how to do more of the alpine like hardcore stuff where you're actually like placing the gear and like bigger like multiple pitch bigger climbs, and got into that and doing we went out to Yosemite and did a whole bunch of climbing trips, and it was like if we weren't racing we were rock climbing.
Oh wow.
And for me, and like I honestly haven't climbed in a couple of years, so it just got to the point where like I didn't hurt my shoulder, I didn't like get injured, but I overused my shoulder, and it led to some like overuse injuries because I was climbing, racing, and I was golfing a good amount, and the combination I honestly think it was the golf, to be totally honest.
Probably was.
I divoted too hard a few times and it just tweaked something.
Yeah, it probably was.
And that was like 2018, I want to say. Maybe through probably more 2019. And once the IndyCar deal came around, I was like, all right, even though I personally know rock climbing is very safe, and I'm more likely to get hurt riding my road bike like north of the city or lifting weights at the gym or something. If I like rolled if something dumb happened and I like hurt myself climbing, I would look like an idiot, right? Whereas if I got hurt on a bike or like at the gym, like people are like, oh well, he's training for his job, so it's fine.
Yeah.
It would still suck, but like the PR side of it, like
Twitter would go crazy.
Yeah, it'd be like this entitled, he's got like this great thing and he goes and rolls his ankle climbing, like what an idiot. So it just kind of got to the point where I was like, I can't be doing as much of this. And same with skiing, like me and the Kloot brothers that I talked about, like I've got a few avalanche training, like rescue certifications and all that. We would do all the backcountry stuff and like analyzing the snowpack and the pits and like doing all that. And it's like I love doing that stuff, but it's just it's like I just can't afford to get hurt now. So I've kind of like, the reason why you haven't seen as much is because I've kind of backed off on it quite a bit. Which my fiance Nicole and I still do like hiking trips, and like we're gonna probably go hike a 14er this summer. But that's more like hiking and camping and stuff. I think like I've just decided that like there'll be a time and place in my life when climbing and skiing are going to be really important, but I'm focused on this stuff right now, so I'm doing more the mellow like camping and hiking stuff now.
Yeah, I feel that to a unreal level, actually. So I bet like with the whole skiing and like growing up in Toronto like aspect, like it's kind of like always like kind of around you, which is always really cool. But as we mentioned earlier, you did grow up in Toronto, and now that I know that you're a Raptors fan, some might consider it one of the more premier sports cities in the world. I was wondering if you could rank for me these iconic Toronto sports moments over the last couple of years. All right. So first one, we have Kawhi's shot from the 2019 playoffs when he made that over Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons to like advance to the finals. We have Jose Batista's bat flip, which is a very iconic one. Or we have Austin Matthews' 4-goal debut. Those are the three. Those, in my opinion, I think those are the three like most iconic Toronto sports moments. And if you want to throw a fourth one in there, we could put Vince Carter in the dunk contest.
Yeah,
those are the four. All right.
I remember watching that bat flip moment live. I watched all the game, or not all the games because it'd be insane, but like all of the postseason Jays games that year. And to be fair, I'm more of a Jays and Leafs fan than a Raps fan. So I would go bat flip, Austin Matthews, and then Lowry. Was it Lowry? Was the
Kawhi.
Leonard? Kawhi.
Yeah.
Very
that
cool.
would be my ranking. I just remember watching that bat flip live and being like, oh man. That was bold.
Yeah, that was one
just
of
the way he looked. Like,
yeah,
he
was just like, I just did that, and everyone just watched that. Everyone just watched that happen. One of the more like iconic moments I feel like in Toronto sports history. And
for sure.
I mean,
that was cool.
As any Jays fan will tell you, like that is like the moment that they will always bring up. I feel like. All right, Dan, do you have anything else?
I personally don't have anything, but I know Tristan, we did have a special fan question.
we
Oh,
had
that's
a
right.
fan question.
We did have some fan questions come in on Twitter. This one really quick. This is from Aiden. Living in Indianapolis, is it awesome getting to like walk to work every day? Like
I don't know. Indy's not like a great city for walking, really.
Yeah.
It's not like that well lit. I mean, I used to live. So I've been here since 2015. So when I moved here, first I was on Mass Ave, like right at Mass College. Like there, you could walk around all over the place. We briefly lived in Fountain Square, and we're up in like more closer to Broad Ripple area now.
Okay.
So where we're at now, it's like you can't really walk to anything.
Yeah.
And like Ubers are so hard to find now too. It's like
For
they're
real.
easier downtown, but it's like it's a bit of a pain trying to get an Uber or Lyft up here. So I kind of wish it was a bit more like walking. You know, it's like, you know, if they had like, I mean, it's a small city, so like public transit would be a big ask. But like in Toronto, like the public transit's a lot more usable than it is here, and I think even people in Toronto can complain about it. So you know that would be nice. But yeah, you know, it's a great town. Like it's a cool city. I wish it was a little closer to mountains, but you know, you can only have racetracks, or you know, it's kind of one or the other.
Pick your poison, you know.
Yeah.
And final fan question. This one actually comes from fan of the show and friend of the show, David Malukas. Do you always get extremely dizzy after oval races?
Oh, I bet he got out of the car after Texas. It was like, whoa, what's going on? I feel like you probably get used to it. I was walking crooked for probably 15 minutes after the Texas race.
Oh wow.
I was gonna be worse because it's like tighter and you're turning more. So I think you probably get used to it, David, but it's one of those things that you just gotta make sure you don't have to do anything too coordinated for a little bit after the race.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure that
there's just so much load, and like you're like the weird thing though is that like in the car you don't notice it. Like you would think, like, you see this guy get out of an Indy car and he's just going around doing 200 something miles an hour, and he looks like he's, you know, not feeling too good, and it's like, how do you drive the car? But like in the car you don't feel that. It's like when you get out and the acceleration stop and the motion stops, your brain is like, oh, but I was used to the other thing. And then it just gets kind of weird for a bit.
Especially at Texas, because my dad is always like telling me, he's like, man, back when Texas was first built and they had IndyCar drivers on that circuit, they were passing out going into turn 3 because of the acceleration and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, of course they were. But then, like, I talked to IndyCar drivers, and they're like, "Yeah, that's like what happens." And I'm just like,
there was a race. I don't know if it was that track or it was somewhere else where they had to cancel because guys were, like, it was in Champ Car, guys were like passing out.
Yeah,
like it was just the Because the problem wasn't the peak; it was like the sustained level of
Yeah.
pulling like 4 or 5 Gs.
Yeah.
And I remember someone said they had like some Air Force pilots there at that event as like a guest sort of thing, and they're like tagline Annie passed out and like didn't wake up until his car had rattled down the wall or something.
Yeah.
Was on the back straight, and they were talking to these Air Force guys apparently, and they were saying like they were showing them the acceleration data, and they were like, yeah, that's not safe. You guys,
Yeah,
You should maybe fix something on this. But yeah, man.
Because you never have a break for like any of the straights really, because you're going down them so fast, you're just continuously in the turn. So yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, interesting.
It's an interesting feeling for sure.
Yeah.
Well, hey, thanks for this whole thing. This is fun.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We're gonna, wish good luck this weekend at Long Beach. It's gonna be a very exciting race. Really quick, do you have anything you want to shout?
Sorry, you cut out there for a second.
Oh, sorry. Really quick, do you have anything that you want to shout out?
Just first of all, thank you to everyone in the last like couple weeks. I think with the TikTok stuff that we talked about, I've definitely noticed like an uptick in following on definitely that platform and Twitter as well. So for everyone that's new to following me, thank you very much for that support, and it's been really refreshing to see, or not refreshing, but it's been really cool to and inspiring for me to see that people are liking that content. So thank you very much, and stay tuned for more of that. And just thank you to all the IndyCar fans for showing up and supporting us in what we do. We couldn't do it without y'all. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And for our listeners, I know that you guys would hate me if I didn't say this. This was a certified Dalton Kellett moment. So thank you.
Oh gosh, we're gonna have to explain that, aren't we?
Yeah, we'll explain that
I'm
after we
sure
go
it's
off.
some Reddit meme.
Okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
It's actually more of a joke in our community. Let's go ahead and let's send it to Motorsport Media. And thank you so much to Dalton Kellett for stopping by the show. And it was a certified Kellett. Awesome. Let's go ahead and go into Richmond. Past weekend, we went to the veterans track itself, Richmond Raceway, and had two different winners. One of them, extremely young, from Joe Gibbs Racing, and the other one, extremely old, not extremely old. It's Denny. And so let's go ahead and talk about Xfinity. Dennis. So let's talk about Xfinity. Good Ty Gibbs and JGR continue a dominant season in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Congratulations to Ty Gibbs on his third win of the season, now his 7th career Xfinity Series win. He only has 25 starts in Xfinity. Very nice. Now, you guys would hate us if we didn't talk about this. Now, the finish was a little controversial in the final lap. Ty Gibbs and John Hunter Nemechek were running extremely hard against each other. Seems like JHN was running pretty clean. Ty Gibbs was saying, "Get out of my way," and was bumping him and using the bumper, running him up in the corner to get the win. In the final corner, Gibbs moves JHN up the track. Now, I know that this was a big debate last week with Chastain versus Dinger in the Cup race. Should Gibbs have raced his teammate that hard in the closing laps? We'll go ahead and start with this with Jay.
All right. So you probably know my take on it from last week. I'm still in the same boat. I feel like, was it necessarily a good move? No, because he kind of threw it in. But
Also your teammate.
and it's your teammate. But I feel like, in a way, he's going for the win. Like, Chastain didn't flat out wreck Allmendinger last week, but in a way he kind of did. And people were fine with Chastain, like, in his move. But then Ty Gibbs, just because most people don't like Ty Gibbs, just for some reason. The kid's never done anything wrong. And people don't like him, and they don't like the move. And they're like, he's a spoiled brat, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. And now, I'm not the biggest fan of Ty Gibbs. Like, I'm not sitting here saying like he's my favorite Xfinity driver, because that's Mike Snyder. But yeah, that's my take on it. I feel like in a way it could have been played out a little differently. He probably shouldn't have thrown it in. He probably should have tried to at least race him. But I don't know. I don't think it was necessarily the wrong move. What about you, Daniel?
Again, I'm sticking with my take from last week with the Ross Chastain whole scenario. Again, I think this is like kind of different, but at the same time, like, he's going for the win. I understand it's your teammate. I understand he didn't have to throw it in there as hard. But my take is this: NASCAR as a whole is not a pure motorsport. by like a definition of what fans or drivers would consider to be a pure motorsport. NASCAR themselves, whether you like it or not, has even said that they are sports entertainment, much like how the WWE is sports entertainment and not pro wrestling.
Okay.
It's its own different thing that still takes roots in it. And NASCAR is known for doing stuff like this. They're known for aggressive driving. They're known for throwing it in there for a win. It'd be different if in F1 or IndyCar you wreck your teammate in those cars that are not meant to handle that for the win.
Yeah.
That'd be its own completely different thing. This is NASCAR we're talking about. This happens all the time, and we only get the criticism for certain drivers that do it.
Exactly.
The people that are presumably the villains and not liked by a large portion of fans, or at least some sections of fans. So, like, I understand that it was dirty, but this is NASCAR. It's gonna happen. And whether you like it or not, it's gonna continue to happen. Like, and at this point, he's Joe Gibbs' grandson.
What repercussions?
Do you think he's gonna lose his job because he
like he's gonna lose his job?
Like, no.
Well, I mean, Ty Dillon did technically lose his job at Richard Childress Racing.
Yeah, but he wasn't winning.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Like, you're wrecking your teammate, but you're still getting a win, and you're already proving that you're a dominant force in one of the most competitive like series around. Like, I understand that people might not like it, but at this point, like, you can't really criticize it because it happens all around with different drivers, different series in the NASCAR kind of branch. Like,
it doesn't even happen just in NASCAR. It happens in short track,
right,
model racing, street stock, anything. Like, you'll see people
it's gonna keep happening.
Yeah.
It's gonna keep happening. It's gonna happen more. It's happened all the time. It's happened 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s. It's happening now. It's gonna continue to happen. Like, whether you like it or not, you can't change the fact that aggressive driving is pretty much a staple of NASCAR.
Yep.
And that is my take, and will probably forever be my take unless some weird thing goes wrong.
And NASCAR becomes open wheel or something.
Yeah, so that is my take. I doubt it'll change, but yeah, I think I've proven my point after the past few weeks of this continuing to happen.
Yeah.
Tristan, what do you think about this?
I mean, Ty Gibbs is full time. JHN is not. That's my full take. There you go.
Hey. What my boy said. It's that short track racing.
It's that short track racing. Let's go ahead and go through the top 10 really quick. Ty Gibbs gets the win. John Hunter Nemechek finished second. Sam Mayer, who actually won the Dash for Cash this week, so awesome.
Nice. Yeah.
Sam. AJ Allmendinger gets fourth. Fifth goes to Riley Herbst. Sixth goes to Daniel Hemrick. Seventh, Josh Berry. Eighth, Brandon Brown. Ninth, Ryan Sieg. And 10th, Parker Retzlaff. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Parker. He was
yeah.
actually the driver that passed the most cars this week. So good for Parker.
He was in the 38, right?
Yeah, he was he was in the 38 this week.
Yeah, that's
so we should see Parker in more races throughout the season. Again, only 18 years old and is killing it right now in the NASCAR Xfinity Series.
Definitely.
Let's go ahead and go over to Cup. This race resurrected Joe Gibbs Racing. I have been a very much so critic of Joe Gibbs Racing this season. I called the year that they were not going to have a good year. And up to week 7, they have not. All 4 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyotas had a great race and all led at different parts of the race, and they all finished in the top 10.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah. That's what I love to hear.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves here one weekend.
I'm sorry.
Anyways,
I'm sorry.
After the race went green for the final 100 laps, it turned into a strategy race, and I don't know how y'all feel about strategy racing, but I personally love it. And William Byron was leading, then all of a sudden his tires just decided that they were gonna stop and evaporate, and this led to the veterans Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick, who were on 11-lap fresher tires, to pretty much blow by him. And contend for the win. In the end, Denny Hamlin scores his 4th win at Richmond, his first of the season, 47th in his NASCAR Cup Series career, and Kevin Harvick gets his highest finish of the season so far. Harvick continues a 1.5 long losing streak, and I'm not going to lie, I know, Jay, that you're a Hamlin fan. I was pushing for Harvick at the end because I just wanted to come in here and just be like, here comes Harvick! Now, I know we had a whole segment last week about JGR, and Jay was in his sad boy feels. He was playing.
I'm living life right now, though, bud.
He was playing some Evanescence, but right today he's playing some Pharrell. He's about to do a happy dance. Here, what's he doing? What's his? Oh
gosh,
he's got the Denny hat. Oh man, is that signed?
Yeah. No. It's not.
Oh, okay. He's just got a Denny hat.
It's going to be soon, though.
Hey, there you go. That's awesome. But anyway, we had a whole segment last week about JGR and how they weren't up to par with other teams. Jay, now that Joe Gibbs has officially had a Joe Gibbs kind of, will we see this continue for the next couple of months?
I would love to hope. I don't want it to be an anomaly. Now, I'm not saying that's going to just happen this one weekend and then they're going to fall off again or something. But I feel like they've individually have started running very good. Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr., like Kyle Busch, even at I think it was Las Vegas, he was running up front, and he was even running up front at Atlanta, but that's super speedway now basically. But no, individually, I feel like all of them have kind of had their moments, but it's either been something about bad luck. Example, Kyle Busch this past weekend, he was running with 200 laps with the sticker on the front of his car, and he got posted by NASCAR for a black flag.
They really said no.
Yeah, 200 laps later, which that was very controversial.
Yeah, kind of a bad call by NASCAR there.
But
just fight him.
Yeah, for real. Just fine. But I want to be optimistic, but the realist says, let's pump the brakes, okay? Let's just pump the brakes. One good weekend doesn't mean the rest of them are going to be great. So, yeah, that's all I got to say. What do you got?
Yeah.
So I was unable to watch this race. I was really busy. But from what I saw about social media, obviously I saw the whole Kyle Busch debacle of whether or not he should have been penalized or just fined or just not really given anything, because what's the point at that point? And I also just saw a lot of people were complaining that it was a strategy race and how it was just very meh as a race.
Yeah.
But at the same time, strategy racing happens. It's a staple of racing, whether you like it or not. Is it always the most entertaining? No. Sometimes it's entertaining, sometimes it's not. Like everything is. Obviously, not every crash fest of a race is super entertaining, because I'm sure you get tired of crashes after about 4 in a row. But strategy racing is a thing. People, you just got to know it's a thing. It's existed a long time. It exists in every motorsport. And there's also a short track race. JGR wins short track races a lot of the time.
True.
It's facts.
They're really good at it. They're really good at it. And I think JGR is proving that even though they might be behind a lot of the other teams that have won already this season, they've proven that they at least know short tracks are still their thing.
Yeah.
I still think every short track, they're going to be a threat.
I mean, even Kyle Busch ran good at the Clash, too, just thinking about it. Exhibition
That's what I'm saying. Even if it's just, specific drivers and, not even the whole team, JGR knows what they're doing at short tracks. Mm-hmm. And they even, I believe they were experimenting with pit formations this week. JGR equals short track.
Yeah.
It's just a fact.
Yeah. Or Darlington.
And so, yeah, Darlington in a way is kind of a hybrid between a speedway and a short track in its own little way, So honestly, I wasn't necessarily surprised to see Denny Hamlin win. Obviously, after the fact that Did he score any top tens? Like up until
No.
I
No.
didn't think he had scored any top
Hadn't,
tens.
he hasn't finished better than 18th season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
before
So
this one.
like, in that case, yeah, it is kind of surprising. But it's still JGR. It's still Denny Hamlin. While they might be behind the other teams, if you're ranking all their like performance, I don't think they're an S tier team at the moment, which is like
No.
top tier for people that know that don't know that system. But JGR is still going to be like an A tier, like at worst like second tier, because JGR's got the money, JGR's got the drivers, they know what they're doing. We need to stop doubting them, okay?
Right now, I feel like the only team that is S tier is Hendrick Motorsports, and there is an argument for Trackhouse Racing, but Trackhouse did not have a very great weekend. At
They
Richmond.
had their moments.
They did have their moments. They had their moments where both Suarez and Chastain were running top 10. Chastain was second for most of the race. Obviously, the finish did not show. He got shuffled back in the pit cycle. I believe Suarez ended up finishing 18th. Chastain ended up finishing 19th, I believe.
They broke
They
the
just
cycle. They broke.
and they did.
broke the top
Chastain
three.
ends his
Yeah.
I believe 5 race top 3 streak,
Yeah, something
maybe
like
4
that.
4 or
Yeah.
5. But yeah, let's go ahead and let's read this top 10 real quick. Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, William Byron, Martin Truex Jr., and Kyle Larson are your top 5. Bringing home 6th is Christopher Bell, 7th Ryan Blaney, 8th Alex Bowman, 9th Kyle Busch, 10th Austin Dillon. Now, you tell this to a 2017 or 2018 NASCAR fan, they would probably be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because this is literally a 2018, 2019 top 10. I could see this happening anytime. Maybe not Christopher Bell, but in the Xfinity. Like, a lot of people would probably be like, yeah, that makes sense. He was with JGR. He won a lot of races. Like, this makes sense as a top 10. And there's no, like, surprising people in there. Like, a lot of people are, Daniel Suarez is a finishing top 10. Like, Ross Chastain, that guy that runs part-time for Chip Ganassi in the Xfinity Series, the watermelon farmer, he just finished top 3 again. Like, I think people would just be like, yeah, this makes sense. This is a predictable top 10.
Yeah, for real.
And going into short tracks in the future, I feel like these will probably be the 10 guys, along with maybe you put a couple other, like, dark horses in there.
Yeah.
Chase Elliott's, even your Ross Chastains, as I just mentioned. I feel like they can definitely be a threat up there.
I see that.
But yeah.
I did.
All right, that was
I did want to pose the question for you guys. This is something else that's been very controversial on social media too. Fox's broadcasting pre-race show,
Oh, God.
whatever. So the pre-race show, bogus.
It was awful. This is the worst one I've seen.
Yeah.
This was awful.
And that seed bit with Ross Chastain, the seed. Oh my God, no.
I wanted that moment. I'm not gonna lie to you. I turned off Race Hub.
Really?
I legit turned off Race Hub, and I ended up watching the final minutes of the Celtics game.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I
don't even want to watch this.
I don't want to watch it, and I turned it back on at 3:30.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the grid walk happen for 5 seconds.
Yeah, dude. Yes. Oh my God.
Like it was like they just decided, yeah, he's here.
Yeah. And then they were like,
Michael
all right.
Waltrip didn't even know who he was.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, come on.
And then he threw it. He was
Like,
like, let's go to ceremonies now. They talked to Chase Elliott and I think the other guy. His name was Chase. I don't remember his name. He was a
defensive end for the Commanders.
Yeah, Commanders. Yeah, he was a yeah.
Let's go Commies. Yeah, it was Chase. It was Chase Young.
Chase Young. Okay, yeah. And then he talked to them for probably 15 to 30 seconds, and then immediately threw it to the ceremonies for like the national anthem and all that stuff. Like,
Michael Waltrip literally said, "Go blue." I was like,
yeah. I was like, Mike, he doesn't. The team isn't. It's not a blue team.
No. It's a joke because Chase Young went to Ohio State, and Go Blue is the Michigan.
Okay. Oh, okay.
It was an anti-Ohio State.
Yeah, that went over my head.
Oh wow,
Okay.
great joke, Mikey. Oh man.
But like the pre-race show is cringy. They need to make it serious because
I miss NBC so
oh my
much.
gosh.
I miss Dale Jr.
I miss Dale Jr., Jeff Burton.
I miss
who
Jeff
else was up in
Burton.
that booth? Rick Allen.
Oh, slide job!
Slide job! But
Oh, man.
no, for real, like, and then that's the reason a lot of people thought the race was boring is they didn't present anything with strategy. Like, you had the commentators occasionally talk about it, but they didn't show statistics and stuff like tire strategy. They didn't present none of that. It was all on the commentators to talk about it occasionally. Like, oh yeah, like they pitted 50 laps ago and these guys pitted 35 and they're going to catch them in this amount of time. And that was it. Like, that was all they said. There was no graphic. There was nothing. And that's where NASCAR is falling behind and not being taken as serious as a motorsport as, let's say, IndyCar or F1. So, like, yeah.
Right.
But what are you going to say,
The thing that annoys me a lot about Fox, and something that I want them to change, is I love the NASCAR Race Hub with Larry McReynolds, Jamie McMurray. I love that.
Love it.
I love it because it's there's maybe a couple little things I would change. Some things are cringy. But it's good because it's Larry McReynolds and Jamie McMurray.
Yeah.
Two people that the community of NASCAR loves.
Exactly.
I've never not met someone that is like, oh, I don't like Larry McReynolds. Like, little Jamie baby? Nah. Like, everyone loves Jamie McMurray. Everyone loves
Larry
Reynolds.
McReynolds, yeah.
And then they are like, all right, let's go ahead and go trackside. Let's go see Chris Myers and like Chad Knaus and Regan Smith. And I was like, and then I watched 30 minutes of them talking about Ross Chastain, well deserved. But then they have a random bit in there about how Ross Chastain had a seed on the side of his mouth and no one cared.
Yeah.
No, I did not see, like, when it happened, I was like, oh, that's kind of embarrassing. I didn't see one tweet about it. Not one. And it's me on Twitter.
No, I saw plenty of tweets about it, but they were not positive. I'll tell you that. They were not positive. They were like,
about Fox?
No, about the seed skit or whatever. About that.
Oh,
seed
no,
skit.
not about the skit. I mean when it was actually happening during his interview.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because no one cared.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and then they decided to do a 5-minute seed skit. And I swear to God, right after they did that skit and they cut to Ross Chastain walking out, I fully expected it to be him walking out, not with his daughter,
but with the seed. I did the same thing. I did when he was getting announced for pre-race. Yeah.
Oh my God, I turned it off. I was like, I can't do this, and I legit turned off my TV. I just couldn't.
I was sitting here the whole time, like I had it on my TV right here. I was like, and then I just looked at my phone.
Ross Chastain walks out with a seed.
I looked at my phone and I had it playing in my my earphones. And then I heard like he's coming out right now, and I looked up. I was like, "Tell me he's not about to come out with this seed." Literally, the first words that I said were, "Tell me he's not about to walk out with this seed."
Yeah, I'm not having it anyway. But yeah, Fox needs to figure something out and fast because they're losing viewers. People are not going to take NASCAR seriously. I would love it if they did Race Hub all the way up and to the command.
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be very nice.
That would be perfect. And I like the interviews that they do. Tyler Reddick had an interview on Race Hub, and it was interesting because it was Jamie McMurray and Larry McReynolds. And, like, listen, no hate on Regan Smith, but Regan Smith won one NASCAR Cup Series race in his career. Not saying that Jamie McMurray was much better, because I believe Jamie only has 7 or 8, but Jamie McMurray won a Daytona 500. Okay, and
can't take that from him.
No, and it's just annoying. But like, I don't know. Daniel, this is like my me and Jay have watched NASCAR our whole lives. I hate this, and it's bad, dude. We went from the Hollywood Hotel to this.
Man, like,
I miss Jeff Hammond.
Man, Phil Spain, someone on Twitter that kind of communicate with a little bit. He made a tweet and he asked something about he has something that he can give. He has someone he can give data to, and he asked what is your guys' main what would you guys' dream pre-race be? I said, let's go back to doing the stage in the midway with the commentators there. They're doing predictions. They're doing different stuff like that. They're doing interactive fan stuff with the fans around them because there's gonna be fans around them.
Right.
Yeah.
So much.
And
I miss you.
man, and like and then I was like, and then let's go after that. Let's go down to the pits. Let's talk to the pit reporters. Let's talk strategy. Let's talk inspection, and then let's give some stories and stuff like that. Like, and then let's throw it up for the national anthem, prayer, whatever you want to interpret.
I feel like a lot of the stuff ended right when Steve Burns died because like he was like Steve Burns, Dr. Jerry Punch, Matt Yoakum. Jamie Little, that was the crew. Krista Voda.
Yeah.
Like
that was the dream time.
Dude, I missed the Hollywood Hotel with Chris Myers, Jeff Hammond,
like,
Rusty Wallace.
Okay.
Brad Doherty, Daniel, was a commentator
I love
for
Brad
NASCAR.
Doherty. I love Brad Doherty. But look, Daniel, to put it in retrospective for you, you know how college football game day is, right?
That's what I was thinking.
That's exactly what it used to be like for NASCAR. Exactly what it. And why did we go away from that? Why?
We have seed bits.
Yeah,
now we have. I got an answer for that. Money.
But why waste money on pointless production like a seed bit that nobody's gonna like when you could literally just set a stage up, put your commentators or whoever there, your analysts there, and then just have the rest of the stuff happen like for race day.
I also have an answer for that. Because ESPN is sports and NASCAR is sports entertainment. That's right. I just circled back to that.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
It's
I hate to hear that too, but it's the truth.
I don't like to say it.
Yeah.
Short.
I don't care. This episode goes as long as it wants. I'm having fun. I'm having fun. I'm having fun talking about this.
The same way that WWE can be really cringy a lot of the time, NASCAR is no different.
Yeah.
It's facts.
In recent history, yes.
Yeah. Like, it's like bordering so hard along the same
Jeff
line.
Van Gundy. At least we don't have Jeff Van Gundy.
Jeff Van Gundy.
Oh, man. All right. Well, that was Richmond.
That was eventful.
Oh, man. Speaking of Richmond, we're short track racing, everybody. NASCAR has officially started the short track circuit with Richmond Raceway last weekend. But these next 2 weeks, we got back-to-back short tracks. Why does NASCAR decide that they're just going to schedule all three of their short tracks back-to-back-to-back? I don't know. Martinsville.
That's short track ratings, baby.
Short track racing. We got Martinsville and Bristol Dirt these next 2 weeks. Really quick, I'm just going to put this out there. What are your bold predictions for these next 2 weeks? Bold predictions. What's just something you think that's going to happen?
Martinsville, I think
we'll
is
start with you.
okay. Martinsville, I think it's gonna be a normal Martinsville race. I don't really think anything crazy is gonna happen. I know it's not necessarily a bold prediction. But Bristol Dirt, I feel with the new car is not gonna be good at all. Like the car,
even though it's dirt, even though it's a night race.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it because of the visibility or anything like that. I'm saying just the car itself on dirt. I don't think it's gonna mesh well. I guess. Because I don't think has there really been any. Had they tested the car on dirt at all?
Yeah, they went to. Is Bowman Gray dirt? No, it's
no. Bowman Gray's not dirt. That was for that was for the Clash.
Yeah.
So
I don't think they have tested it on dirt.
That's why I'm saying I don't feel like it's gonna go too good. No, I love Bristol Dirt. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I love
me some Bristol Dirt too.
But I just don't feel like the car's gonna do very well on dirt. So what about you, Daniel? What are your bold predictions?
I mean, like, I think that dirt prediction's a pretty good prediction. I don't know if I fully believe this or not, but if we're going with just bold predictions, screw it. I think in the next 2 weeks we get a new winner.
Okay.
I don't know. I've
got
an idea of two potential people for the next 2 weekends.
I think you have the same two potential people that everyone has been mentioning for the past week and a half.
Well, I've got one I want to happen a lot more than the other, but, but I bet you can't guess which that one is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Ty Dillon.
Man, I'm more of a.
Daniel Suarez, Tyler Reddick type of guy.
I was gonna say I'm more of a Harrison Burton believer.
Okay.
I was trying to think of a random driver. It wasn't happening quick
I
enough.
think
I'm sorry.
Todd Gilliland will win at Martinsville.
Interesting. Based Tristan.
No, but actually, I do think that Todd Gilliland will have a good run at Martinsville. That could be one of my bold predictions. He's a past winner at Martinsville. I could see it happening. So we've had 7 different winners in the first 7 regular season races. Will we see a repeat winner over the next 2 weeks? Jay, we'll start with you.
I feel like this is more of a bold prediction, not saying it's going to happen. But I feel like if anybody's going to be the first person to win back-to-back or even just races in general, like for the 2 races, just 2 races, first repeat winner. That's what I was trying to say. I feel like it will most likely be Denny, or I feel like Ross could possibly win at Martinsville.
Yeah.
I said with Denny, I didn't say it was going to happen, but I just said the possibility could happen.
All right, cool. Daniel.
Based on my preseason predictions, I think we get a repeat winner. I don't think we have a new winner. Based on my wild card and my heart predictions, I think we stay for the next 2 weeks with 2 more new winners, for this season at least.
If we go 2 more weeks with 2 new winners, we will have 9 out of 16 playoff spots filled. I put that with quotation marks because I am someone that thinks we'll have more than 16 winners. And
I can see it.
The next gen cars will be different. However, I do think we have a couple weeks. I think that Kyle Larson's going to win. It's just my opinion. Finally,
also, like, I think NASCAR themselves probably wants a lot of new winners for the suspense.
I'm fine with it. I'm
fine with it.
It just won't make championships very interesting.
Tristan, you know what that is? Sports
entertainment,
baby.
Money.
That's sports entertainment.
I like me money.
And I'm Pat McAfee. Anyway, final thing with short track racing. We've seen 2311 racing struggle on short tracks.
And who called it?
This guy.
DC called it over there. Will we see a change at Martin's Bristol Dirt for Bubba Wallace and Kurt Busch?
You want me to go? I'll go.
Start with you, Jay. We'll start with you, Jay.
So Bubba, normally he's won at Martinsville in the Truck Series, and I think 2 times actually. And he's ran. I don't know how good he ran there in Xfinity, and he's ran decent in RPM equipment, and I think he did pretty good last season in the 28.3XI equipment, if I remember or not. So I feel like, and then he's also good on dirt. He won at Eldora in the trucks, which I mean that's trucks, but like I don't know, like Toyota in general. And I mean, 23XI, I actually been talking with someone about this, and they just need to cut out the mistakes. If they cut out the mistakes, they could put together a really good top 10 run, I would say. I'm not saying the car is necessarily winning equipment, but they could put it in position to win if they cut the mistakes out. That's all that needs to happen. The mistakes need to get cut out.
Yeah, and officially, I feel like people are starting to notice that people were giving Bubba Wallace crap for running in a 5th Joe Gibbs racing car.
Yeah.
Last season, this is not a Joe Gibbs racing car.
You can tell. You can tell.
This is Levine Family Motorsports.
Reskinned.
With 2 cars this time, baby.
Yeah, with 2 cars.
It's a reskin of Levine Family Motorsports, which is fine. Levine Family Motorsports is okay equipment.
Yeah.
B tier probably equipment. Should we be seeing Wallace and Kurt Busch run better? Yeah, we should. But just interesting. I don't know how well they would do Martinsville and Bristol Dirt. If I do think anyone will do better, it'll probably be Kurt Busch.
Yeah.
Just veteran experience. Could see that happening. All right,
Okay.
Daniel, what do you have to say about 2311?
if I'm 2311, I'm looking at the schedule and I'm seeing 2 more short tracks and I'm going, oh boy, this doesn't look fun.
Oh boy.
I think I'm waiting for like just the timer for these next 2 weeks to go quickly, get it over with. Because you know what race is right after this next 2 weeks. It's a super speedway. That's 2311's bread and butter.
Bread and butter, baby.
And I think they're just like, can we just make it through these next 2 weeks, not have huge failures?
If I remember right, the last person to win at Talladega did drive in 2311 racing.
That is true.
Last time I checked, the last person to come top 2 in both of the last official super speedway races raced for 2311.
He said official.
Sorry, Atlanta. We'll see if you count when you officially change your name.
Yeah, for real.
Till then, you're not official.
To ass.
You're just getting an asterisk for now. You're
Atlanta Super Speedway.
You're Atlanta Speedway.
Yeah, I'd even be fine if they just change it to Atlanta Speedway.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Or just say that Atlanta Motor Speedway is Super Speedway. Like, that'd be fine. Or Atlanta Motor Super Nah, just Atlanta Super Speedway.
It's gotta be ass. It's gotta be ass. It's gotta be ass.
You gotta for the culture.
Oh, they won't do that.
He said for the culture.
Yeah, I think they're looking at these next 2 weeks and scratching their head at just how they can just manage to not wreck out, not have Lady Luck strike them in the wrong way yet again this season, because Super Speedway is coming up, and I think they're just praying they don't have to spend a lot of money on replacement parts and stuff before then, because they're always good at Talladega, Daytona, super speedways. It's one of their things, and I think they're just waiting for the time machine to come in, just get them past these next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I feel that for sure. Well, speaking of short track racing, we're headed to Martinsville this weekend in the NASCAR Cup Trucks and Xfinity Series. But we also got 2 other incredible tracks we're headed to. F1's going to Australia for the Australian Grand Prix, which is I've heard very great things about. And IndyCar is going to my favorite street circuit on the IndyCar schedule. They're going to Long Beach. Let's go ahead and start with F1. Jay, let's talk all about Australia.
All right.
Who's your predictions?
So my predictions for Australia. We've had a week break. So that means for F1 drivers and teams alike, a week of developments. So it's going to be interesting what we bring to the track this weekend. And I feel like, and I mean, I want to say, because it's his home GP, I would love to say Daniel Ricciardo. I love Daniel Ricciardo. That man is amazing. But I can't say Daniel Ricciardo because I don't know how McLaren's going to fare after this week off. But my prediction is I'm probably going to go with Leclerc winning. And then I'm going to go with not necessarily a wild card, but a secondary pick. You got to go with the 2 that have been battling already so much this season. Let's go with Verstappen.
Max.
I mean, I would not be shocked if, hopefully after this developmental week or week off, whatever you want to say, Mercedes can finally step their game up. I would love to see Mercedes step their way into this battle as well. So, I don't know. We'll see, though. We'll see what happens this weekend. Let's go Daniel this week. All right, you're right here now.
Sorry to mess up your flow there.
No, you're fine.
First winner for F1. Do I go 3 different winners in the first 3 weeks? I don't think it's like a shocker pick, but I'm going Carlos Sainz.
Okay.
Yeah, baby, because that's how I'm going Carlos
He's in
Sainz.
second,
Let's go.
And Ferrari's been really good, and so has he. So I think he gets it done. I don't know if he dominates the whole race. I don't know if it's a last few laps. Don't know how it's going to happen, but Carlos Sainz is going to win in my prediction, my mental foresight of this race. And then a wild card. Jay, I'll have you cue the music, but not the music you think. I'm picking Lando Norris.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, cue that Let's Go Lando.
I don't know. Is there a song for Let's Go Lando?
There is.
Same Supermax people. You know it, baby.
Is it really?
Look it up. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
wow.
not as good, but it's up there.
It's still pretty good.
Okay, I'll cue it then. Okay.
Man,
All right.
that's funny. Anyway, yeah, as a sign, I think that Ferrari is gonna be good this weekend. But yeah, Max Verstappen's my second pick. I just could see it. It's gonna be a battle between those three guys, and you have to include Lewis Hamilton in there for the championship. It's gonna be
Box, Lewis. Box.
This box.
box. But yeah, it's gonna be good. All right,
Box this.
all right, Daniel, let's go to IndyCar.
Alrighty. So for IndyCar, we are in Long Beach. Long Beach season. We're going all the way to California for Long Beach. It's the second street course. And I think I'll let Jay go with his picks first, because I want to go with my picks last.
Okay.
All right.
Because
All right.
this is a really good track. I think it's an interesting track. I think it's one that several different drivers could win.
Yeah.
So I want to hear what you have to say. Who's your number one pick and your wild card pick
Okay.
for this weekend at Long Beach?
You let the IndyCar noob go first. That's fine. So we're gonna have to go.
You know what you're talking about.
Little
You know
bit,
what you're
little
talking
bit.
about.
I'm learning though. You guys are helping me learn though. But all right. So first pick for the Long Beach Grand Prix, I'm going to have to go with Alex Palou. That's
There you
gonna
go.
be my
Good
first
pick.
pick.
Good pick.
Wild card pick. I know it's been very spotty for his team, and it's been up and down these last couple of seasons. I feel like you guys might know who I'm talking about. Maybe not.
Just say it.
Alexander Rossi.
That's who I got. I got two. I also have
Yeah,
Rossi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I also have Rossi. My picks. My first pick is actually last year's winner of the Grand Prix at Long Beach. I'm picking Colton Herta in the 26 for Andretti Autosport. But yeah, my underdog pick is a guy that has won here multiple times. Alexander Rossi. Yes, he's had a very bad start to the season. Yes, he did not have a good season last year.
and a good
Rossi's
season
gonna-
before.
Rossi's gonna turn it around. Okay, I think Rossi runs extremely well here, and I think that there's a shot. However, it's either Rossi runs well or he doesn't at all. I think there's no option for middle of the pack here. It's either he runs well or he doesn't, and it's coming to that end. Obviously, I would love to see drivers that are friends of the show. I'd love to see Mo Lucas and I'd love to see Kellett run extremely well here at Long Beach, and I hope that they do. But I think Andretti Autosport is really gonna.
Manifesting a podium where two of the three people are Dalton Kellett and David Malukas. That would just make me the happiest man
Oh
alive.
my god, that would make
that
I would
all
just
of
heard
us.
it in there somewhere. I would cry.
That would just prove it's luck. You got to come on the Indy Boys Racing podcast
For
if you
real.
want to get a podium,
for real.
Yeah.
especially at Long Beach. But yeah, yeah, Daniel, go ahead. Who's your pick?
Okay,
man?
so my number one pick. Let's be real. You guys know who I'm picking. I'm picking Colton Herta.
Yep.
He's going 2 straight races at Long Beach of winning.
Andretti has won, I believe, the last 3 Grand Prix at Long Beach. If I
And
remember.
Andretti needs a win right now.
Yeah.
So I'm picking Colton Herta. And then my wild card pick, I'm going with an AutoNation sponsored car, but it is not Alexander Rossi. I am going
Pagenaud?
with Simon Pagenaud.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Simon
that's what I was
Pagenaud
thinking.
and Meyershank have run pretty solid this year. I know at Texas they were involved in wrecks, and obviously Texas, that's understandable.
Yeah.
But
It
at
is.
St. Pete, they low-key kind of outperformed several of the official Andretti drivers,
That's
considering
true.
Meyershank is
Yeah.
the
Satellite.
under tier
The satellite.
yeah, they're kind of an extra 2 cars of Andretti affiliation.
They're the Wood Brothers Racing of this organization.
Pretty much. And while I would like to go with Alexander Rossi, I think the woes are going to continue. I really just don't know. I don't know if it's going to be something he does to mess up. I don't know if it's just going to be a
that's
slow
not a
car
bad
all
prediction
around.
at all. So
I don't know if it'll be a crew malfunction. With Alexander Rossi in the 27 team, they've proven it can be any of those. It can be something that hasn't happened.
Yeah.
The past 2-3 seasons have been rough for Alexander Rossi. And I'm still in the Alexander Rossi is leaving Andretti at the end of the season train. I think the woes continue. I don't know if my preseason predictions of Rossi getting a win this season will happen. It's been rough. It was rough last season. I thought he'd turn it around. It's not looking great. I know we're only 2 races in, but yikes.
Yeah.
But Pagano, on the other hand, he's making
He's
there's
making a
nothing
case.
against Jack Harvey, but he's making Jack Harvey look a little more rough than his season's already been. Because Harvey had a bad week 1. He had a bad race at St. Pete. He missed Texas because of a practice crash. And he got cleared, so he will be racing this weekend. But I think Pagano gets a win in the 60 car. And
I think he does too. I'm not gonna lie.
I think it's gonna get more into the conversation of like, will Harvey get a win in the 45? Was his time in the 60 just because he was in bad equipment? Was it just because he simply wasn't as good as Simon Pagenaud?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of storylines, questions that will start or be answered this weekend and just throughout the season. But I think Pagano's got it. I don't know why. I've got a feeling.
Yeah, I feel like this weekend's going to be a good weekend for Meyer Shank. Elio is always good at Long Beach, and
As long as he doesn't get wrecked by Rossi in practice again.
It's true. We don't need. Actually, I would like to see another interview from our boy. That was one of my favorite Elio moments of all time. Anyway, really quick, if David Malukas and Dalton Kellett both get a podium this weekend, if they're both on the podium, I will get a certified Dalton Kellett moment tattoo. Got it?
I love to hear. We all have to. We all have to.
Oh yeah.
We all have to.
Dude,
Yeah.
I don't get tattoos though.
I don't either.
Don't sign me up for this.
I don't. You don't have to get it in like a revealing location.
Daniel, you act like me and you weren't about to get the IMS logo on.
I will probably get it eventually. It's just a matter of if I finally decide it's time.
No, it can't be one or the other. It has to be both. If David Malukas and Dalton Kellett get podiums this weekend.
For me, it's got to be if I can get my dream podium of Herta, Malukas, Kellett, I'll do it. If you can have your bargain. For me, it's got to be all 3.
If the 4 and the 18 are both on the podium this weekend, I will get a certified Dalton Kellett moment on my body.
Okay.
I'll
do it with you. Shit.
All right.
I'll do it with you.
Shake
on.
Virtual
shit.
guys.
Virtual.
I'll witness it happen. I will witness it happen.
There you go.
But I can't be making bets like that.
I would love. I'm just saying it in existence because I want it to happen.
I know, me too.
All right, let's go over to NASCAR. Martinsville, 1 pick for trucks, 1 pick for Xfinity. I'm gonna go first. Trucks, give it to Zane Smith. Last year's winner at Martinsville. This man is on a mission. I said it in week 1. Zane Smith is going to win the title this season, and it is not going to be close. The 38 team is on fire. Hopefully they're not on fire this weekend. The 38 truck is who I'm picking for trucks. Xfinity, the return of Dale Earnhardt Jr. to the Xfinity Series as he does one race every
I didn't know.
This weekend at Martinsville.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
This weekend at Martinsville. However, I will be picking a different junior motorsports driver. Give it to my man, Josh Berry. Last year's winner in the spring Martinsville race. I think he does it again. This man can drive at Martinsville. He does it every year. The only reason he wasn't running at Martinsville last season is because he wasn't full time. Like, there was 2 races at Martinsville. I guarantee you. Second one.
Yeah.
He's killing it. He kills it at Martinsville. Let's go ahead. Trucks and Xfinity. Jay, who you got?
All right. My head immediately for trucks went to Christian Eckes, so that's who I'm going with.
There you go.
And then for Xfinity, my head immediately went to Noah Gragson, so that's who I'm going with. Those two.
There you go.
Those 2 guys for this weekend.
Noah Gragson, also incredible at Martinsville.
Yeah.
Here we go.
What about you,
Dan.
Daniel? Mr. Daniel.
Okay, so I got a weird feeling about this weekend. I don't know what it is. I feel like something weird and memorable is going to happen. I think in trucks we're going to get a really weird post-race interview. And the reason I think that is because the winner I think is going to happen is Matt DiBenedetto. And I think we're going to get a really weird post-race interview,
Ooh.
I got moved to trucks and I'm happy to get my first
He'll
win.
cry. He'll cry.
Yeah,
don't worry. If he wins.
I
If
think
he
this is
wins.
Yeah.
I think this is the week we get a emotional interview where he actually won something. It's not even a dig at him. It's just it happens a lot.
It's still funny though. But...
And so like maybe it actually happens for like a good reason. I'm optimistic.
I will say that 25 Rackley
Yeah.
War team has been doing very well this season.
I'm
They've had some
optimistic
bad
for
luck
him.
though.
They
some
have.
very bad
Coda
luck.
was awful.
Oh,
for
yeah.
them. They were terrible at Coda.
Like, I'm an optimistic guy. Is Matt DiBenedetto my favorite driver? No, but like, I don't know. I feel like he should get a happy moment.
Okay.
Evil Mandy D be like
Winning races.
winning races.
And then Xfinity. You know, I want to go with my heart. Bold take.
Don't say.
I
Riley
think
Herbst.
this guy's gonna go to the championship 4.
Oh.
I think Austin Hill gets another win.
Okay, I swore this man was about to say Riley Herbst, and I was.
That's why.
No,
That's why I
no.
said don't say.
No.
Riley Herbst.
Here's the thing. Riley hasn't been running bad. He's had a couple top 5s this season.
Yeah.
Had a top 5 last week at Richmond, which is a veterans track, and I mean he's also in incredible equipment. So.
I'll get back to you on a super speedway or a non-short track for my Riley Herbst.
Well, I think
belief that
Riley
he'll
wins a
win.
race this season.
I think he does. It's just I don't know if it's a short track.
Oh.
Or at least not right now. Later in the season, screw it, maybe. I think he can. But Austin Hill, despite having a few bad luck moments, has been really good this year. And the fact that he's in like a second RCR car team who's been running solidly in the past few
Not
years.
in the
with
first
just one
RCR car. He is in the second RCR
Yeah.
car. He's killing it.
Like he was announced like I don't know. He was announced like well before the season,
like a
but
month before.
he was announced after Sheldon Creed. Like they made a big deal about Sheldon Creed, and they're like, "Oh, we're also
Well,
going to have Austin Hill."
Sheldon Creed is kind of a champion.
No, I understand why,
Yeah.
but I think Austin Hill is going to be a really big contender this year.
I think Daniel's got a new favy.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know. With Xfinity, I like a lot of guys in Xfinity, but dude, Austin Hill, there's something about it this season. I think he's going to make a championship run. I don't know if he
I can
wins
see it
it,
happening.
No, I don't
but-
think he wins it either.
but screw it. That's my dark horse.
Hey, that RCR equipment in Xfinity has won quite a few championships. I mean,
Yeah.
Clinton Boyer won a championship in that
Tyler
RCR.
Reddick.
Tyler Reddick. Hemrick made the championship 4 twice in that RCR equipment.
Mhm.
I mean, see it happening. I can see it happening. All right, let's go to Cup. Cup Series Martinsville. Chase Elliott is my pick this weekend. Hey,
Yeah.
and I think Chase Elliott's gonna win this weekend. Is incredible at Martinsville, incredible, and I think that we see the points leader continue his strong run. Is he still the points leader?
Maybe.
Give me a minute. My second pick this week, as I'm looking at points, is Daniel Suarez. I think that Suarez could get it done this weekend. Oh, he's not. He's no longer. Oh, he's tied. He's tied for first in points with Ryan Blaney.
Nice. I love that. For Ryan.
In driver standings, playoff standings, Ryan Blaney is leading the.
Love that for Ryan.
right.
Yeah. Makes sense.
He's won so many
Polls.
stages.
I
and
mean,
polls,
he's won so many stages, so many polls. In playoff standings, Chase Elliott is. But in pure driver points, Blaney and Chase Elliott are 19 points ahead of Truex.
Dang.
And but yeah, still technically driver points leader, Chase Elliott. I think he gets it done. Second pick, Daniel Suarez, because he's having an incredible year. Daniel Suarez. Jay, who you got?
All right, so I'm there with you on Chase Elliott. I feel like that's gonna be another new winner. And I know I said earlier, like, I felt like it could be like Denny or someone, but that's not like my legitimate take. But Chase Elliott is going to be my prediction to win this weekend. He's going to get his first win of this season. Now for my dark horse, wild card, whatever you want to consider it, I don't even know. Like, it's so many people. It's so many people that could win this weekend.
Can I guess? I feel like I can guess who yours is. You ready for my guess for yours?
let me
I
hear
think
it.
you're gonna go Eric Jones. I feel like that could be.
Yes and no.
Okay.
My wild card was actually gonna be Denny.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a true wild card.
Not a true wild card, but this season proving to be a wild card.
That's facts. That is facts.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like if someone has a win, they're no wild card. I feel like,
I don't know.
unless it's Cindric. I mean, that's my only one. I feel like.
Fair.
Yeah, I can see that.
Fair.
I can
All
see
right,
that.
Dan, who you got for your 2 picks for Martinsville?
Hey. Short. Track. Racing.
He said short.
J,
That's where he was about to be like,
B,
It's gonna be
R.
Martin Truex Jr.
yeah.
I'm going back to back Denny Hamlin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
man.
He's like, I picked him for the championship for a reason.
That's true. That's true.
dude, he's proven me right. He listened to my grievances.
We act like last week that Daniel was not like regretting his life choices.
I really was. But you know what? I'm a little better now. I think Denny's gonna make me a happy man and make my preseason predictions look a little bit better. But then wild card, short, track, racing, short, king, Tyler Reddick.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. He
going-
said short, and I was like, he's gonna pick Tyler.
Yeah.
Because he looked good at Martinsville in the past.
He did.
It's valid.
He looks good at any track, buddy. He is.
I
Tyler
know,
Reddick. He's a
but-
future champion of this sport.
He's the 5'4"
mean,
king,
he's-
bub.
He's
I think 5'4" pushing it.
Yeah.
He's my favorite.
He's a
Well, I
5'4"
want-
pushing it.
He's my favorite little guy. I want him to get a win.
Yeah,
And I want it to happen now.
I can see it happening.
funny.
Another guy that I think could be could be Brad Keselowski.
That's true. They did look kind of good at Richmond for a little
They did look
But-
good at
but-
Richmond.
How many cars does he take out to get to it?
bit. There it is. There it is.
Update on the Brad Keselowski situation. He is now currently 31st in drivers' points, which means he is only, and it's still a lot, he's 22 points behind 30th place Corey LaJoy. If Brad Keselowski gets into the top 30 in points and gets a win, he can still make the NASCAR playoffs. However, if he gets a win, but he's outside of the top 30 in points, he does not make the playoffs. This is the Chris Buescher situation from 2016. Needs to stay in the playoffs. So hopefully we see Brad K. As he is someone I have in the playoffs to have that right.
Is that actually a rule?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Rule.
Wow.
Yeah. Chris Buescher,
Interesting.
Michael McDowell, whenever we've had like crazy winners in Cup, they need to be in the top 30 in points by the end of the season to make the playoffs.
I didn't.
That's why part-timers never make it.
Yeah.
Well,
so
I
that's
knew
why
that. Just because.
Well,
like,
yeah, but
Haley,
like that-
Haley in 2019 didn't make the playoffs because they only did one start that year.
Yeah.
Allmendinger last season playoffs, even though he
Yeah.
won at IMS.
Mhm. Well, I knew that
Yeah.
because they're part time. But like
God,
a
yeah.
full time car, I did not know that was the rule.
That is a
Interesting.
rule.
Wow.
that's
is
why
rule.
it's the rule.
I feel like a lot of people
But
need to know that.
Wins
rule.
normally propel people into the top 30.
That's
So it's kind of not really hard.
You got to
unless
be
you're
pretty
running-
bad to get away.
Unless you're running straight
Playoff.
40th every week.
Yeah. And then you
but yeah.
back into a win.
Back into it. The closer.
Well, that wasn't an Alex Bowman like
I
shot
know.
or anything. I was just
I
saying.
know. Anyway, those are our picks. We would love to see who your picks are. Send us your picks on Twitter. Put the hashtag Indy Boys Racing Podcast, and we'll be sure to check those out. All right. Before we close out this episode, we would love to announce the winner of the Indy Boys Bracket Challenge for the college basketball tournament. Everyone congratulate Rob Lee. Everyone give him a quick round. Congratulations to Rob Lee
That's my best
on
friend.
winning the Indy Boys Bracket Challenge. Let us know, man, if you want to be on the show. Just give us a quick DM. We'll see if we can make stuff happen. But congratulations on the win. You beat all of us, and you beat quite a few other people. So congratulations there. All right. Really quick, closing this episode out. Thank you guys so much for listening to the Indy Boys Racing Podcast. Go ahead and follow us on all of our social medias, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, at Indy Boys Racing Podcast. Not Indy Boys Racing Podcast, at Indy Boys Podcast. I don't know what that came from. Subscribe to us on YouTube. follow us on our podcasts. All the links are down below. Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. We're on everything. Special shout out to Dalton Kellett. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. All of his links will be down below, including the link to his TikTok page. He's incredible on TikTok, guys. You guys need to check him out.
It's such a good follow, guys. Let me just say.
Like,
it's really good knowledge.
It's really good, especially if you're someone that is really trying to get like IndyCar. I know that there's quite a few people that are like IndyCar, want to do that this season. He's one of the guys to follow. He is one of the smartest guys in the garage. Like, you need to, if you just want to know about the cars, know about anything, Kellett is your guy. Anyway, signing off for this episode. Jay, do you have anything to say, man?
No, other than what you said. Make sure you give us some rates, subscribe, like the page, follow the pages, social media, check out Dalton's stuff. Other than that, not really anything. I just hope Denny can win this weekend.
And Chaney over there, Daniel Chaney.
This episode has been a certified Dalton Kellett moment, and that is all I have to say.
Oh yeah, and thanks to Dalton for coming on. I forgot to say that.
Thank you so much, Dalton. Such a great interview, such a great guy.
Yeah,
super smart. Love talking to him.
He is with a lot of knowledge.
He really did. Yeah. He said he was old. The man is 28. Like, come on. Like, late 20s. I mean, like, come on. Anyway, signing off for Daniel Chaney and Justin Cox, I am Tristan Grider. We hope that you all have a great rest of your week. Have a good one, guys. Peace! Certified.